Hello all my puppy lovers, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks for Arena so you guys can get more wins and hopefully get your legendary Sea Dog title that much sooner. So frankly in Arena there are two different game modes. I call them game modes because, well, they both have specific strategies you need to have for beating them. You have your Galleon Arena and your Sloop Arena. For today, we're going to be going over Galleon Arena because Galleon Arena is, well, harder, and I would rather knock off Galleon Arena because, for one, there's a lot more tips and tricks. So this video is going to be longer than the Sloop Arena video, which will be coming out next week. So if you don't want to miss out on that video, please click the subscribe button, click the bell, so you don't miss that video coming out next week. So without further ado, let's get into the tips and tricks for this video and hopefully get you guys more wins. So guys, there's one thing you need to know about the Galleon before we get into this tutorial, and that is the Galleon is the hardest ship in Sea of Thieves to master. Some people will say it's the Sloop. Well, no, actually the Galleon has a lot more jobs, and there's more people in the Galleon, and they need to be constantly in sync. You cannot have somebody that will constantly jump off of the Galleon. Frankly, you can 3-man a Galleon. However, there's a reason why you have that 4th spot. It's just easier if you have everybody on the ship at all times. On Arena, you're rarely going to be boarding. On Adventure, you're rarely going to be boarding also. Frankly, if you want more PvP on land-to-land combat, join a TDM community, join somebody that likes TDM, or heck, do some PvP stuff in Sea of Thieves with your friends. If you like to PvP with each other, don't go into Arena and constantly jump off if you're wanting wins. If you want wins, constantly stay on your boat. You can't just jump off. So that's pretty much just the first tip. The second tip I recommend is also getting a good crew together. If you have a crew member that will constantly jump off, like I said earlier, you're not going to get much done. There's more jobs on the Galleon. You're constantly going to be angling those sails. You're going to be constantly repairing. You're going to be constantly steering the boats. You're going to be constantly shooting cannons. You're going to need to use the harpoons from time to time. There's a lot of jobs that need to be done on a Galleon, so you can't just jump off. There's always going to be something done that you just need to have your crewmates there to do. So yeah, that's the first tip second tip, sorry, can't speak today, that I recommend doing when you're on a Galleon. Just get your crew together, get a good crew together. Frankly, just don't have somebody that'll just constantly jump off. If you have that, well, you're not going to get any wins. So frankly, as soon as you spawn in, you need to get that anchor up. The anchor just takes forever to raise. You need to get the anchor up as soon as possible, and then go to the bottom, grab your resources after you drop the sails and everything. Frankly, the Galleon, it takes time to start moving. So frankly, have one person drop in the sails, starting to angle them, have everyone go down, grab the resources, and then that person goes down and grabs the resources after all the sails are, dealt with and everything, and then that's when you can get into combat. So now we're getting into the combat part of the tutorial, and frankly, the first thing you want to do is have all cannons loaded, and then start working on your launch shots. Frankly, have people working on their launch shots, trying to get like good cannonball shots on the enemy crew beside you. If you can work on your launch shots and become really good at them, you will win every single Arena game. Like, launch shots is something you need to get really good at. And frankly, in Arena, like, if you get really good at launch shot cannon shots, you're going to be really good in Adventure too. So frankly, it's really a win-win. You get points, you get Arena wins, you get gold, and also you'll get good at cannon shots, which will transfer over to Adventure. So frankly, after you get like some points and that stuff, getting like some good old cannonball snipes and that stuff, launch shots, that's what they're called. I can't talk today. But frankly, some people will think going for the chest, that's the first thing we need to do, is go for the chest. Well, that's the way that it's supposed to be played in Arena. That's the way that Rare intended the game to be played. However, it is the inefficient way to play Arena. Frankly, the problem with Arena is the risk versus reward factor. And every single game has this. A little bit more on that later down the line. I'm going to actually make a video about the sword and also the risk and reward factor in Sea of Thieves and all that stuff. So subscribe, click that bell if you don't want to miss that video. But there's a risk for going for the chest. Well, really, there isn't really a risk for going for the chest, but it receives very little reward. And the reason being is cannonballs give you 40 points. The chest gives you 1,000 points. As soon as you shoot 10 cannonballs, that's 400 points. If you have 4 people on cannons spamming cannonballs into someone's broadside, well, that's 1,600 points. And that's a shorter amount of time than going to the chest, picking that thing up, and going to cash in. Frankly, cash in is useless in Galleon Arena. Frankly, don't even go for the chest. Frankly, just go to combat. Don't be a PvEer. Don't run. Actually go for combat. Actually fight. That's your main goal in Galleon Arena. It's just go out there and fight. So, yeah, frankly, do not go for chest. That's inefficient and, frankly, not the meta. So, frankly, go into a fight and that stuff. And, yeah, that's your main goal. Get as many points as possible. Go in for a fight. And that's what you need to do to get wins. Now we're going to be going over specials and also a little bit of, I guess, crew stuff. So frankly, in Arena, you need to have everyone with a specific role. You need somebody on as a cannoneer, which is always on cannons. You need a bilge, which is somebody that keeps the ship in top notch. And you need somebody constantly on wheel. And then the the fourth one is a, I don't know, flexible one. It's somebody that's flexible and it's pretty good at everything. So if they need to take the wheel for a few minutes, they can go take the wheel. If they need to go under and bucket a few times and repair a little bit with the bilge when they need help, they can do that. If they need somebody on the cannons, they can do that. That person is mainly doing the angling of the sails, going down and helping people, and just overall being very flexible on how they approach fights and that stuff. So that's the main roles for the crews. The second thing is specials. Specials are blunderbombs, firebombs, and chainshots. You want to use them strategically. Firebombs should only be used as a distraction, as a pain in the butt to deal with. I'll be making a little video on that a little bit later. Actually, I think the video's already out. I think it'll be on the top right corner in the info card if you guys want to check out that video with some Sea of Thieves tips. So, frankly, specials are useful, but every single special has a place. Frankly, fire, it's only useful in specific times just to be a little bit annoying. Frankly, firebombs are mostly useless in Sea of Thieves. The only times they're useful is combat situations for land combat and or being just a turd, frankly. That's literally the only two reasons that you'll use firebombs. So, blunderbombs are a little bit underrated, frankly, or overrated. Frankly, you either have somebody on the deep end just using them all the time and they're just bad at aiming and using the sword and everything, or you got people that are like, they just don't use them at all, and then you got that nice middle ground where people actually know how to use them. Frankly, launching blunderbombs at the enemy ship actually has more of an impact than people think. Yes, it won't do any damage, but if you're getting cannonball spammed, frankly, loading a blunderbomb and shooting at their ship will launch them all back, and by that time, everyone in your crew that's on cannons should be able to load their cannons and then shoot at them. So the last special that you'll have is Chainshots, and you only get 6 of them every single time your boat respawns. And frankly, Chainshots need to be used sparingly. You can't just go into a fight and just spam them all and just miss them all. You need to use them strategically at specific times. Sometimes we'll go a whole entire game with just not even using them. Like, sometimes you need to use them, sometimes you don't. If there's a crew that's better than you, and you know it for like cannonballs and that stuff, that's when you pull out your chainshots, you pull out your specials, pull out your firebombs, and you just start spamming them with specials. Being a little bit annoying, as soon as their, I guess, masts are down, if they're not the scuttle type where they'll actually use scuttling to their advantage, which we'll go into a little bit later, frankly, you're going to get a lot of points. They're disabled, they can't do anything, and at that point you can silver farm them, just spamming cannons, spamming them at their middle deck, and then you'll keep them off of cannons, because every single time they try and get in the cannons, they're going to get launched off, they're going to be bounced around, and they just can't do anything. They might try and send a border or two, but at that point you just get somebody off of cannons, and you just have somebody there to watch ladders, and you should be perfectly fine. So now we're going to get into scuttling. Scuttling is, like, for most people, it would be like, oh man, that's bad, oh, you're kind of a wimp. No, actually, it's a smart play. It's actually a strategic play that you should do at times. Frankly, with scuttling, if you're in a situation where you got a border on you, you can't get them off, and you're getting constantly silver farmed currently, just stinking scuttle. Like, you can come back, from it, you can get another 1,000 points in that stuff. It's not hard to get 1,000 points, it really just takes 3 people just on cannons, constantly hitting their shots, and you're perfectly fine. So frankly, scuttling, there's no shame in scuttling. If you need to scuttle, scuttle at times. It is a strategic play that you need to do at times. Now, when you scuttle, don't wait for a mermaid. actually swim to the bottom deck of your boat and you'll get black screened, and then you will spawn directly on your other boat. It's better than waiting for a merm. It's actually quicker, it's more efficient, and it's a little nice exploit that I like to use and everyone likes to use when they're scuttled and that stuff. If you're wanting to send boarders because, well, you just don't have enough time to get your boat and get the points and that stuff, and there's like another ship coming in, you can go board their boat and you can go screw them up. That's the only time where I'll be like, yeah, go board. Like, frankly, we don't have the time to get our ship together so we can go and come back and clap them. Frankly, at that point, that's when you board, that's when you be annoying, throw fire bombs and that stuff. Be a nuisance so you just can't get any more points. Like scuttling, only use it at specific situations where you're fully disabled, you can't get your ship back together, just scuttle. It's better for you to lose 1,000 points than to give your crew, your enemy crew, sorry, an extra 1,600 points. It's just better because you got to keep in mind, 4 people constantly on cannons shooting 10 cannonballs on you every single time from each person, that's 1,600 points. So guys, the last point I like to make in this tutorial is harpoons. Harpoons are helpful. You need to use harpoons a little bit more. If you're coming towards an island, harpooning will make you do a sharp turn, reeling yourself in, doing a sharp turn. Very useful, and you need to learn how to use harpoons. Frankly, going into adventure and just messing around with the harpoons, like trying to do 180s really quickly, you need to do that at times. Just to master the harpoon is so helpful. Like, turning the galleon takes forever, but harpooning, you can do like a 180 in a very, very short amount of time. So try master harpoon. Harpooning is excellent and honestly a necessity when in an arena. So yeah, frankly, those are all the tips that I have for you today. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a button down below. It helps people find out these videos more. And also please share with your friends and your crew and that stuff to help them, I guess, get better at arena and that stuff. And yeah, if you're new around here, please subscribe, click that bell so you don't miss my duo sloop arena tutorial next week. And yeah, I'll see you dudes in the next video.